future two-time NBA MVP and Hall of Famer to be Steve Nash. No Steve Nash on the floor tonight, though, I don't think.
Definitely not here. You see Brandon Dawson again did not partake in shoot-around today. Alvin Ellis is out. Javon Best is also out for the Spartans. Tom Izzo not ruling out. Ellis could play later on this week in Orlando. Won't guarantee though. Opening tap controlled by the Spartans and Travis Trice, the senior. Denzel Washington bounces to Costello. Now back to Valentine along the baseline. In the corner, Clark for three.
You know what? That was some good movement. Both sides of the ball. Michigan State moving it offensively. And I thought Santa Clara did a pretty good job of rotating defensively.
Marvin Clark hit 3 threes on Friday, 15 points. Buries his first one tonight. Brandon Clark had 9 points in Santa Clara's loss to Utah State on Wednesday. Here's Brownridge for three. And the rebound run down by Denzel Johnson. And now the pass thrown away. And Trice will let it go out of bounds, and it'll be Spartan basketball.
Michigan State swung the ball from one side to the other, so Clark had a great look at this, and you see the confidence and the pretty stroke.
6'6", 225. Tom Izzo saying the strongest freshman he's ever had in his 20 years. Now you're looking at on your screen right there. Bench press 185, 26 times.
Very nice, very nice. I remember a time when weightlifting was not considered a good thing when it came to basketball, but of course that was a long time ago. We know better now.
Officials checking to see if indeed Clark is going to be credited with the three, and he will be. Rob Kuhneman, Glenn Mayborg, and Ray Perone, the officials tonight. Michigan State in its win on Friday opened up with a 17-2 run with an easy win, but now the Spartans throw it away and they turn it over.
Michigan State can expect changing defenses from Santa Clara throughout this game. So far, they've faced a zone and then man-to-man, just to try to keep them off balance as part of their defensive strategy.
Broncos have more guards than forwards without two key post players tonight. Air ball from Hubbard, but the tap is up in there for Pugh.
Well, good job of offensively rebounding the basketball, but not too pleased with the shot selection early on by Santa Clara. And they're going to need to take good shots if they're going to be in this game.
The shot clock has malfunctioned, and they're going to talk things over as both teams go to the respective benches.
I thought I heard an errant horn the first possession.
It's 2 so far tonight, Greg. And Ray Perone is going to see what's going on at the scorer's table. This ball game tonight really is the opening game of the Orlando Classic. The teams led down to Florida. Michigan State will practice tomorrow, then fly down tomorrow night. Santa Clara also will make its way to the Sunshine State tomorrow. Let's go back to the Aaron Horn that we heard a moment ago. Shot clock never reset. Trice is at half court.
Stand by.
See if Ray Perone has ended his conversation. And
you know, Corey, I'll say this, with the howling wind and dropping temperatures out there here in the state of Michigan, not a bad time to be heading down to the Sunshine State. You want to go?
You're not, absolutely. You're not kidding. This morning you woke up around here. It was temperatures in the 50s. It was nice, just a light rain. Then by 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon, the temperatures plummeted to about 20 degrees cooler.
Welcome to Michigan.
Yeah, blustery night.
But you're a Minneapolis guy, so you know how that goes.
This is it. For me, this is like Maui. I'm fine. This is wonderful. See the shot clock adjustment 32, and we resume. 3-2 game. Costello to Valentine up top for 3. Hubbard boxing out, good position on Costello inside. There's Clark had a 31-point game earlier this year.
That was good patience that time by Santa Clara. You push it up the floor, explore, but if nothing is there, use that shot clock.
Shot clock is under 10. Johnson off the fake. Hubbard has to hurry with 3. That's a 3-point try. And Trice skies for the rebound.
Good patience, good look. Michigan State limiting the Broncos to just one shot.
There's Trice. He'll pop for 3. And the tap from Costello keeps it alive for Michigan State. He's swinging around. Trice will drive. Open Valentine. That's a 3.
Coaching staff for Michigan State feels that Valentine needs to have a nice game for his confidence. Not a bad thing to have that first one go down, especially from deep.
5 of 15 on the year, beyond the arc. Spartans by 4. Pugh had it blocked by Costello, and it comes into the hands of Bryn Forbes. Lead pass, Trice, alley-oop, and Clark on the other end. Just 2 passes up the floor, and Clark slammed it down. He's got 5.
Picture perfect fast break and finish by the Spartans. Started with good defense.
It's penetration from Brownridge, but Pugh could not finish. Got to hit that tonight. Valentine bounces for Clark. Contact, we play on. Costello fouled on the offensive attempt. And he will shoot 2.
This ball doesn't touch the floor. And when you can boast that and come away with a finish such as this, you know you've done your fast break quite well. Beautiful by the Spartans.
Now, Greg, you mentioned the transition game, the running part of the game. Speaking with Tom Izzo today, he felt his team did not run enough in the first half on Friday, got better in the second half.
Well, if they're going to run tonight, they have to do exactly what they did a month ago. Get a stop. Do it with rebounding, or do it with the block shot, force a turnover. That will ignite your transition game.
Substitution for Santa Clara, Nate Cratch, sophomore from Watertown, Minnesota, checks in. Jarvis Pugh picked up the foul a moment ago. He departs. Costello splits the 2 free throws. Brownridge met immediately by Trice. Now the handoff for Clark, guarded by Valentine, and he's bumped. First foul on Denzel Valentine, the junior from Lansing. The Big Ten Digital Network is now BTN Plus, available on BTN To Go. Subscribe to BTN Plus and gain access to hundreds of non-televised games. Then enjoy them on even more platforms wherever you are. At BTN Plus, now available on BTN To Go. Clark looked like he walked, and he did, along the baseline. He was defended well. Second turnover. Mentioned that Clark held at just 9 points in Santa Clara's last game. That marked the first time in 25 games he did not score at least 10. Trice beat Cratch, took advantage of the speed, and he was fouled. And this will be on Cratch. And that will take us to a timeout here in East Lansing. Michigan State up big early on tonight, 9-2 game. Clark has 5, a 3, and the dunk a moment ago. All Spartans early tonight.
When Delta bath, shower, toilet, and faucet innovations make getting clean just as beautiful as getting dirty, that's happy mess. See what Delta can do.
At Jared, we have a lot more jewelry than ordinary jewelry stores.
More is good. I want to find her something special.
But our jewelry is so much more than just more. We have unique jewelry you won't find anywhere else, like our Heart's Desire collection, crafted only with ideal cut diamonds.
This is totally her.
But wait, there's more. Aww. We call it the aw moment. And that's why he went to Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry.
Behold, we are in the presence of champions. Fantasy sports legends who have earned hundreds of thousands of dollars playing online. Meet Arlie Gonzalez. Average guy, superior sports knowledge. Picked a team in minutes and won enough to throw the party of a lifetime. In outer space. Former accountant Derek Bradley. DraftKings one-day fantasy football took him from a guy with holes in his underpants to a guy with bikini models in them.
How do we turn our love of fantasy sports into reality cash?
DraftKings.com. They have one-day games, so you're not locked in. It's like a new season every time you play. And best of all, you could win a shipload of money.
Bigger events, bigger winnings, bigger millionaires. Use promo code PIGSKIN to play and get free entry in the Millionaire Maker event this Sunday. Winner gets $1 million. Get to DraftKings.com now.
Our State Farm State of Success. We focus in on Michigan State. Tom Izzo, 17 straight NCAA tournament appearances, 8-time National Coach of the Year. And he is no stranger at scheduling a tough non-conference schedule. We've seen that again so far this year already. Michigan State has played Duke. And Greg, if things play out this week in Orlando, Michigan State could play Kansas on Sunday. So you could see in a stretch of just about 2.5 weeks, in November alone, Duke and Kansas long before conference play.
Yeah, it's part of the plan. And, you know, folks around the East Lansing area, they come to expect Michigan State to play that tough schedule. Maybe take a few lumps early, but be rock solid at tournament time. Tom Izzo, of course, his first 2 years here, NIT tournament. He's been in the postseason every year that he's coached here, but his first 2 years in the NIT tournament, and then 17 straight NCAA tournament appearances. 6 Final Fours. Heck of a resume, man.
Clark can't hit the three, no doubt. 6 of the first 8 games the Spartans will play away from the Breslin Center.
Question now is, can the Broncos get penetration? Can they get quality penetration? In other words, inside for a high percentage shot or a decent kick out for a wide open exterior shot.
Roberts had a good look, missed on the three there. Trice will push it down, backs out. Blue rolls, Narin Jr. Tum-tum. His first attempt, and he buries it, the freshman from the Bahamas.
Trice is doing a really nice job of pushing the basketball for Michigan State. Attacking that defense, putting pressure on them immediately. Here's Trice. He's pushed it, he brings it back out, and then he's able to hit Narin Jr. What a nice jumper.
Blue rolls, Narin Jr., but he's going to go by Tum-tum. He's from the Oscar-winning movie Three Ninjas. Just about every award possible. One of the characters was named Tum-tum, and it was a nickname that was given to him many years ago, and he would prefer to be called Tum-tum in his collegiate career.
Well, I like the singer who...
The late, yeah, there was.
Lou Rawls was one of the all-time greats.
Denzel Johnson can't hit. Up the floor, Forbes. Around Clark, and he's fouled. Bryn Forbes, you see, playing with that cast on his left hand.
Pretty hard foul there, but a good foul. You don't give up the and one. You make Forbes have to earn it at the free throw line. Michigan State very determined to push the basketball. It's obvious today.
So Forbes shooting 2 and misses the front end. Spartans as a team coming in just 55% free throw.
Yeah, that's not going to get it, and they know that. Tom Izzo talked about that when we spoke a little bit before the game, how that is one of the things that has surprised him from a negative standpoint, the team's ability to step to that line and knock down free throws. Didn't anticipate this struggle.
Forbes makes the second in the game on Friday. Forbes changed up his cast, a less cumbersome cast. It's his non-shooting hand. Fractured the third metacarpal in his left hand.
Tom Izzo had a young man wear a cast for a whole season back in the late 90s, and he ended up having an all Big Ten campaign. I'm talking about Morris Peterson.
shots and missed. Another miss. Only one field goal so far tonight for Santa Clara. 1 for 9. Aaron. Now to Trice with 15 to shoot. The Wallenman checking in for Michigan State. Hands it back off to Trice. Shot clock is under 10. Swing to Forbes. He'll pop for 3.
Man, they are really moving the basketball and moving themselves to the open spots on the floor.
On Friday, Michigan State opened things up, leading 17-2 tonight. It's a 15-2 score early on. And this is going to go the other way. Foul called on Santa Clara away from the ball.
You're going to see the ball changing hands and changing sides of the floor, too. And there's the extra pass right there, which is usually pretty unguardable. Nairn Jr. on the assist, Forbes on the bucket.
The pass, I'm glad you brought up the pass in there, Greg, because you go back to the game on Friday, 27 assists on 36 field goals for Michigan State, and we're seeing that play out again early tonight.
Yeah, they're going to have a high number tonight the way they're moving it.
Fouls on Matt Hubbard, his first. That's now 14 fouls on the Broncos. Good screen from Schilling. Fade away from Trice. Schilling the offensive putback and scores.
Michigan State is really starting to assert its muscle on the glass, both ends.
Gavin Schilling without Dawson, still the front court a factor early on tonight for Michigan State.
I'm World Slalom water skiing champion Thomas Tigas de Gasper. They say there's one characteristic every champion has in common. We all hate to lose. That's why all my energy goes towards one single goal: winning. 5-hour energy.
You know, when you're moving your bodies, you make yourself very difficult, not only to guard, but you make yourself difficult to block out. And Schilling was able to take full advantage in there, using that length and strength for an offensive putback. Michigan State dominating right now.
It's a 14-0 run. Covering more than 5 minutes. Forbes and the Spartans. During the stretch, this 14-0 run, 6 different Michigan State players have scored.
Remember what we talked about for the Broncos. They have got to figure out a way to get quality shots, especially now with Michigan State limiting them to but one shot.
Tough shot for Brownridge, but he's fouled. So you see Santa Clara doing something they try and do each and every game, that is get to the free throw line. They're averaging about 20 free throw attempts per game so far this year.
Well, the convincing pump fake allowed Brownridge the opportunity to get in there and work himself to the free throw line. The problem for this entire Santa Clara roster is that they're not a very good free throw shooting team. And it's early in the year. You know, we're talking about guys that maybe have been there only 4 or 5 times.
Brownridge now 5 of 10 at the line. You see the accolades for Brownridge last year, the West Coast Conference Newcomer of the Year.
See, he made 2 and bumped his free throw percentage from 44 to 60, just like that.
He could do that early on.
Back to their zone defense, the Broncos. Looks to be a 1-2-2 or 2-3.
Jump double pull off just outside the free throw line. Rebound inside to Crash.
Nice job on the zone. You force the outside shot and then shot and then you rebound the miss. So that was a good defensive sequence for the Broncos.
Evan Wardlow in for Santa Clara. And now it's Cratch. Kai Healy is set to redshirt. He will not with the reverse.
Wow.
And the freshman, born in Indianapolis, but was raised in Australia, has the second Broncos field goal tonight.
That was pretty sweet, especially to finish. You know, this zone defense is pretty good, I think, for Santa Clara, as long as they can rebound out of it. Michigan State has not shown that they can penetrate it in the middle right now.
Forbes for three. And the rebound loose inside, and it looked like Costello reached around, and he did, so he'll be called for the foul. Bryn Forbes and the Spartans up big early on tonight. Forbes came in, hit a couple of threes on Friday. He's hot early tonight. Michigan State by 11.
How'd I earn this bacon portobello melt? I got to work only 12 minutes late.
Save Dan from an embarrassing date.
It's the Wendy's bacon portobello melt. Rich portobello's all melty and cheesy. Earning one's super easy.
With T-Mobile and iPhone 6, you can make Wi-Fi calls beyond the reach of cellular networks.
Hey, Brandon, what's up?
So you can talk from down here.
Smile for Grandma.
Or text pictures from up here.
Okay, there we go. Should we send a photo?
You can even make calls way over here. Talk and text with anyone, anywhere there's a Wi-Fi connection. Wi-Fi calling on iPhone 6, only from T-Mobile.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans, and we're here in Detroit with our amazing team members.
The best thing about working with Quicken Loans is that you have a mortgage expert on the other line that's always going to find out the best possible solution. We don't just treat you as a loan number. We want to make sure that we help you out.
We're people just like them,
yeah.
You know, and we know that they have jobs, they have kids, they have soccer.
Their home is where their heart is.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure we take care of them.
Call Quicken Loans today for a mortgage experience that's engineered to amaze.
The training staff says it's only a strain, but from the looks of it...
Here you go. Diet Dr. Pepper, just the way you like it.
Thanks, Larry.
Tastes like a touchdown, 0 calories, 7 points of flavor. What are you kidding? Hello, America. I'm Larry Culpepper. I invented the college football playoff.
That's not true, Larry.
Well, I got evidence. Look at this. The original bracket blueprint.
Larry, that is a napkin, and you gotta go.
I just gave you Diet Dr. Pepper.
Thank you. I love it.
All right.
Things could definitely turn around in the second half.
Tastes like a touchdown.
Oh.
Let's go. Diet Dr. Pepper here.
Meat sticks? Yes! These sticks? No! Yes! No! Yes! No! Yes! Snap into a yes! Snap into a Slim Jim.
Let's learn a bit more about the Santa Clara Broncos. Go in on Saturday. Practice here yesterday before the game tonight. Founded 1851. Beautiful campus just south of San Francisco. A year ago, the Broncos 14-19, bringing back 3 starters, but without a couple of key post players tonight. Emmanuel Ndumaya, you see him there, also out. Yannick Atonga injured and will not play. That's Atonga on the left and Ndumaya on the right. Ndumaya's got an injured left foot. Atonga out with a sore knee, and those two guys, 6'8", 230, 6'9", 270. Would have been a huge bonus to have inside tonight.
You better believe it. That's a lot of rebounding being missed, shot blocking being missed, intimidation being missed, presence being missed.
Now a turnover on Santa Clara off the hands of Johnson. 4th turnover for the Broncos here tonight.
Kerry Keating right there knows his margin for error is slim tonight. Talked to him a little bit before the game. He says, hey, this is a huge task. We're going to go ahead and attack it, but he knows that he's up against it, especially missing those guys you just talked about over there on the sideline.
Clark in the corner, Trice for 3. Schilling. So much size. Great feed to Valentine, but it was deflected out of bounds. How about the pass from Schilling? Got the rebound and the quick feed to Valentine.
You know what? It looks like passing is fun for the Michigan State guys. I mean, they're all very unselfish. They look for each other. Sometimes you get guys that are just as happy getting an assist as they are scoring the basket. And when that's the case, you're going to have a team that's going to score easily as opposed to teams that like to go one-on-one and maybe not enjoy so much passing.
Nice touch by Santa Clara.
You're also going to find yourself shooting a higher percentage when you've got a good passing team.
It's going to be a turnover as Valentine walked. Santa Clara with the ball, still down 11. Gavin Schilling, sophomore from Chicago, at 8 points, 3 rebounds on Friday. Clark Clark and Brownridge have been quiet tonight. Brownridge, can he change that? Too strong on the three and all. Spartan inside, and that is Schilling. Valentine feeds Schilling with the left hand. Nice move.
Schilling's done a nice job since coming in.
8 points, as I mentioned, career high.
Yeah, I was just about to say, number 3, Clark's got to get going. I mean, he's our leading scorer. Where he is with the basketball now, he's got to figure out a way to get himself involved. We'll need his scoring to stay tight.
Deep three from Brownridge. And tries to rebound. He's met there by Cratch, and a foul will be called on Santa Clara. So Trice had position 6 feet, Cratch 6'6". And Santa Clara now, Greg, 0 for 5 from beyond the arc.
There you see the long rebound. Trice is doing a little bit of everything. I think, you know, his confidence really soared towards the end of last year, and then in the Big Ten tournament and the NCAA tournament, he played it really well. Hit some big shots for the Spartans, and picking up right where he left off seemingly this season. He's become more of a leader out there, too.
Greg, I asked Tom Izzo about Travis during shoot-around today. When he arrived, he was basically a three-point shooter or a guy that could get to the basket. He's really added the mid-range part of his game as his career has continued.
Good zone defense again. That's been Santa Clara's best defense in this game. Look at the rotation defensively.
Trice too strong in the three. All Valentine inside. Nobody boxing out. Easy 2 for Denzel Valentine. He's got 5.
That's the biggest thing right there, though. Can you rebound out of a zone?
Clark can't hit the 3. Schilling the rebound. Michigan State will try to run. Off the ball fake. Trice in traffic. Got away with a walk.
Ball movement there. Very impressive. Not staying in anybody's hands too long.
Trice knocks down the 3. He's got his first field goal tonight and a timeout called. Tom Izzo looking on without some key players early this season, shaking his head still as Spartans up huge, 24-6.
This is Trade Monster, nationally recognized with an award-winning trading platform. This is Trade Monster, customizable research and analysis designed to identify trade possibilities. This is Trade Monster, free webinars, education, live events, and more to enhance your trading. Trade Monster, no platform fees, no maintenance fees, and superior value on commissions. If you're an active stock, options, or futures trader, discover the power of Trade Monster.
24-6, Spartans on top of the Broncos from Santa Clara. As Tom Izzo has his team up big tonight. The three-point shot. You see the numbers 4 of 10 so far. Coming into this ball game as a team, Michigan State around 39-40%. Stephen Edwards is on for the first time for Santa Clara. Right now it's Clark. And here is Edwards. He will drive in the paint, has it swatted away by Schilling. The block to go with 5 rebounds and 4 points for Gavin Schilling.
Michigan State making it very difficult for Santa Clara to finish at that basket. I mean, they're making the moves occasionally to get in tight, but they are not being given an opportunity really to get it up on that glass.
Edwards throwing it in, celebrating his 19th birthday today. Hit a half-court shot at the tail end of Santa Clara's shoot-around today to celebrate the birthday.
19, nice. I remember when.
Trice leaves it for Clark. Nobody stopped the ball. Clark stuck it home.
Three things that Michigan State's doing quite impressively. And then finally, that's a big bucket there by Clark. Maybe that gets him going. They're going to need more of that from him. But 3 things Michigan State's doing extremely well. That's moving the basketball. That's defending in tight on their defensive end and pushing it.
Valentine can't hit the 3. Ball loose on the floor, and Clark has it. Lead pass to Edwards. Inside to Pugh. That's blocked by Clark. And Tum Tum cannot save it. But this crowd is fired up, seeing a very solid defensive showing. The freshman Marvin Clark got back and took an easy two away.
This is what I'm talking about, defending in tight. I thought that was going to be an easy layup for Santa Clara. I'm sure they did too. But Michigan State has recovered very, very well to deny those in-tight baskets.
You see Marvin Clark in person. 6'6", 225. You think he had to play football at some point, right? And Tom Izzo wasn't sure. He said, he must have had some offers to play football somewhere, right? He said, I don't know, to be honest with you. Another basketball player. Shot clock is under 10. Brownridge in trouble. Santa Clara has to hurry here. Edwards with 3. With 2 from the foul line. Got it! Stephen Edwards, happy birthday.
That was difficult because the defense was there and the shot clock was winding down. All of that making it very difficult.
No look. Valentine to Schilling. He's got 6. The eyes, Valentine were pointed at the top of the key, but he saw Schilling underneath the basket.
Now, I think Valentine's one of the best passers in the Big Ten. I mean, he sees the whole floor, and boy, does he love to pass it.
High-arcing shot from Pugh. Can't hit. Valentine the rebound. No surprise. Michigan State will try to run. Clark goes baseline, and he walked. So he turns it over. Third Spartan turnover, and that will take us to a timeout. Marvin Clark has been active all over the floor. On defense and on offense, he's got 7. Spartans up big.
November 7, 2010. A day fans will remember forever. With time ticking down, Rick Noble was inches away from glory but couldn't find daylight. He tried the cutback, the spin move, and going up the middle. There was only one option left. His now famous trick play, the triple fork Noble. And he scored.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Now all he needed was a beverage.
Hit the hardwood for college hoops on BTN. Don't miss a moment of the excitement as Rutgers takes the floor for non-conference action. Big Ten basketball presented by April Air. Tomorrow on BTN and BTN To Go.
Saturday, it's a winner-take-all battle for the West Division title when Heisman contender Melvin Gordon and the Badgers square off with the Gophers. Saturday at 3:30 Eastern, presented by John Deere on BTN and BTN To Go.
We needed 30 new hires for our call center.
I'm spending too much time hiring and not enough time in my kitchen.
Need to hire fast? Go to ZipRecruiter.com and post your job to over 30 of the web's leading job boards with a single click. Then simply select the best candidates from one easy-to-review list.
You put up one post, and the next day you have all these candidates.
Makes my job a lot easier.
Over 100,000 businesses have already used ZipRecruiter. And now you can use ZipRecruiter for free at a special site for TV viewers. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/offer33.
LifeProof cases for iPhone and Galaxy. Get 25% off select cases at lifeproof.com.
Tomorrow night on BTN, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights at the rack take on St. Peter's. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, presented by April Air on BTN and BTN To Go. This moment here in the timeout, the Michigan State national champion cross-country team was honored here on the court during the timeout. First ever cross-country national championship for that outstanding team. Terre Haute, Indiana over the weekend. Congratulations to them. Marvin Clark, Denzel Valentine, Michigan State up big, 28-11. Michigan State shooting 50% from the field. Santa Clara just 19% on 4 of 21 shooting. Around Costello. Clark against Nairn. Good defense by the freshman. Edwards in the paint. Hubbard got his man up. And that leaves Edwards open for three. Way off.
You know, again, good ball movement, good patience. But Michigan State is recovering so well. I mean, they're just a step or two quicker tonight. That shot looked open for a moment, but it was hurried because of, you know, again, the recovery that we've seen with Michigan State throughout this evening on the defensive end.
On two from Nairn. Can't hit. Edwards the rebound.
Nice block out that time by the Broncos.
Brownridge trying to get going. Well short. Really forced that one. Valentine has Clark. He'll pull up. Knocks it down. Denzel Valentine. That's a 2. He's got 7. Point game. And we have a whistle and a foul will be called on Michigan State. It'll be on Nairn as Tom Izzo visit with the freshman. His first foul, team's 4th. A teaching moment right there, no doubt, as Izzo brought over the freshman.
Like most great coaches does not coach the clock. He's always coaching possessions. And with that in mind, he expects a high level of execution each and every possession. The score takes care of itself.
Traveling violation called on Edwards. 5th turnover. Some substitutions for both teams. Santa Clara. Edwards will come out and Denzel Johnson's back in. Evan Clark sits for Michigan State and Kobe Wallerman turns for the Spartans. The Spartans will meet Ryder on Thursday in Orlando. Spent a lot of time here at the Breslin Center in December. Valentine short of the 3-point try. Clark the rebound. Up the floor. Johnson in the paint. Can't hit the reverse. And here comes Trice. Leaves it for Valentine in the corner. Forbes for 3.
Wow. Now that goes down as a transition basket. I mean, they're pushing that ball up, getting that early opportunity, and it doesn't always have to be a layup. If it's a wide open 3, they take it.
Again, Michigan State will look to run. Trice, Wallenman, and he traveled. Well, staying with the tempo there, have you seen that? Kind of what Tom Izzo hinted at earlier today. He wants to see his team run more. Are you seeing that so far in this opening half?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, they are getting it up and down. You know, they've got to be in really good shape, too, to keep pushing it like that. I mean, that takes great stamina and endurance on the part of the players out there on the floor. But concerted effort, without a doubt, to get it up the floor quickly. 11 fast break points right now for the Spartans. And they've got a low turnover number considering how much they've moved that ball and how much they pushed it.
Healy against Costello, and this is going to be an offensive foul. This will be on the freshman Healy, his first. 6th team foul. Costello took the charge.
He got himself in position, and then Healy took care of the rest with the shove.
What a tap. Costello to Wallenman. Costello was really not in good position. Awkward angle, so he just kind of tapped it to Wallenman, who was there for the easy score.
Heck of a pass.
Pugh will launch for 3. High arcing 3 is good for Jarvis Pugh. He's got 5.
I believe that's his first 3-pointer of the season.
Not even attempt one. Heading into the ball game tonight. True freshman from Murphy, Texas. Trice from deep.
Trice is a much improved basketball player without a doubt. You can see his leadership out there. He's not rushing anything. He's allowing the offense to come to him. He's keeping people involved, and he's working hard on the defensive end.
Second three, Michigan State as a team, 6 of 13 from beyond the arc. Trice, co-captain, 3 so far tonight. Shot clock is under 10. Denzel Johnson has a lane, had it swatted away by Wallenman. Here's Trice. Back from Forbes. Forbes open, another 3. And the rebound comes down to Costello. Trice, no look pass. Wallenman can't hit but a foul. And that will take us to a timeout. Michigan State got off to a great start tonight. We've seen the transition game. We've also seen the three-point game. A couple tonight from Travis Trice. Michigan State leads 38-14.
The Ohio State University. The University of Texas Southern University.
California, Berkeley.
Old Dominion University. Harvard University.
The University of Virginia.
Texas A&M.
Norfolk State University.
University. Arizona State.
Pennsylvania State University.
The few, the proud, the Marines.
When Hollywood's premier jewelry designer, Neil Lane, creates a ring for today's biggest stars, he designs it to look fabulous from every angle. And for his collection at Kay Jewelers, he does the exact same thing. Yes. Neil Lane Bridal, uniquely beautiful handcrafted rings at Kay, the #1 jewelry store in America.
My collection is vintage inspired, with flowing lines that evoke a sense of timelessness, because I want every woman to feel like a star.
Every kiss begins with K.
If your house could talk.
Winter's here. You turn up my heat and dry out my air. I become shocking. My floors crack and peel. I dry out your skin and irritate your nose and throat. I make you sick. Ugh.
Your home suffering from winter dry air? Get an April Air whole home humidifier installed for soothing relief in every room. Say goodbye to winter dry with April Air. Visit aprilair.com.
Fox Sports Detroit is your home for Pistons basketball. Building to be better is the motto this season. As new leadership ignites an exciting change in direction. It's a new chapter in the ongoing saga of Detroit basketball. And the ending has yet to be written. Pistons basketball. Watch every game. Fox Sports Detroit.
Well, we began our telecast tonight with the Bronze, Magic, and how about the real thing? Hall of Famer, member of the 1979 championship team, now owner of the Dodgers. Magic's here tonight. Seeing his Spartans put on a show here in the opening half. 38-14 with 2:28 to play. Stay tuned for the State Farm halftime report. Mike Hall and Stephen Bardo will be along from Chicago studios. State Farm halftime report. Get you caught up on everything around the conference. That means Stephen Bardo is 2 minutes and 28 seconds to finish whatever he's eating right now. He's always eating.
I don't blame him. I love to munch on him. You notice that Irvin Magic Johnson had a nice bucket of popcorn in front of him. You know, we former athletes, we love our munchies, buddy.
You're pretty big around here. If you want some popcorn, I'm sure that could be brought to you.
Tell you what, it was a joy playing with Irvin. He consummate teammate. It's all about winning.
Did you even envision the career that he had? The man he is today. Did you even envision that?
Well, I don't think anyone could ever have envisioned the amount of success off the floor. I knew he was a great basketball player. I knew he was going to have tremendous success if he could stay healthy at the NBA level. But the fact that he was able to transcend the game and go do great things in business and be successful and impact others with job opportunities and community activism, he's been phenomenal.
Marvin Clark back in for Michigan State. Wallenman Parts for the Spartans. It'll be Santa Clara basketball with 2:20 to play until halftime. Freshman Healy, red shirt lifted for this one here tonight. As Kerry Keating just needed some bodies to play. Down a couple of key post players.
You can see they've been forced to play out on that perimeter almost exclusively through this first half.
Deep three, too strong for Johnson, and Nairn runs it down along the baseline. Everything contested for the most part tonight for Santa Clara offensively.
Everything, you said that. When I talked about three things that Michigan State's done well, there's one thing I think that Santa Clara's done pretty well, and that's play the zone. Haven't been able to rebound as well as you would like out of it, but they have not allowed a lot of wide open shots when they're in their zone. They've moved well.
Shot clock is at 5 now. For Trice. Nairn. The three. Schilling the rebound. Brought it down. It was knocked away by Johnson, but Schilling got it back at a fresh 35. 6 rebounds for Schilling, a career best. Trice for 3. And this time he's going to be called for the foul. Well, the foul's going to be on Santa Clara. Thought that it was Schilling that went over the back, but the foul is on the Broncos. It's on Pugh as Kerry Keating kind of shakes his head in disgust. That's his second. It's a 1-and-1 here for Michigan State. The Spartans in the bonus the rest of the way. 18 fouls. If you missed it earlier, Marvin Clark Jr. started tonight. Brandon Dawson unable to play with a flu bug. The true freshman got the start. He's performed well in the opening half, Greg.
You know, I think when you're able to come out on the floor knowing that you're going to get a specific amount of time, and you don't have to worry about making mistakes, you play a little more relaxed. And I think that was the case, especially early for Clark Jr.
Under a minute to play. Healy for 3. Hubbard got there for Santa Clara for the offensive chance. It was knocked out. And a foul will be called on the Spartans.
Spartan foul on 34, Schilling.
This is on Schilling. That's his first. 15th foul, as we see again, Natonga and Ndumaya out tonight for Santa Clara.
Now, they only go 6.5 points a game combined, but you're talking about 6'8" and 6'9". You're talking about over, 240, 50 pounds. That's needed in a game like this if you're Santa Clara.
Brownridge had it knocked away. Oh, and Trice goes behind the back. He'll leave it for Schilling all the way to score.
Tell you what, Schilling couldn't be bothered in this first half. You cannot slow him down. You can't get in his way. You can't block him out. He's had a very sound first quarter.
8 points.
First half. Let me correct that.
Ties a career high. 5 seconds to go. Healy for 3 with 3 short. Rebound to Nairn. Schilling. It will not count should it go. And that will end the opening half in East Lansing. Michigan State up early on Santa Clara, rolling here in the first half, leading 40-14. Spartans lead big. We'll join Mike and Stephen. Assists. Marvin Clark Jr. starting in place of the flu-ridden Brandon Dawson with a very productive first half for Michigan State. So Broncos with the ball as we are underway in the second half. Here's Clark on the drive. Pugh open, high arcing three is short, tapped out, and Clark has it. Trice to the trailing Clark, that's a 2. Clark has a team-high 9.
He got a nice rebound, a long rebound, and then was a trailer. Last guy back from Michigan State, but the one guy that was unguarded, and he got the open shot. Clark's done a nice job, Clark Jr.
Nice job by Brownridge getting Clark up. And he will shoot 2, and it was a key graphic, Greg, as we focus on the lack of scoring from the backcourt that Santa Clara desperately needed tonight.
Brandon Clark, we talked about, his lack of shot opportunity. Just 3 points scored by their leading scorer, who comes in averaging 20. He's got to start bringing them up a little bit here in this second half. Santa Clara wants to leave out of here, feeling somewhat better about themselves with a tougher, better second half.
Again, Santa Clara tonight playing without 2 post players that Harry Keating love to have out there. Yannick Atanga, Emmanuel Ndumaya. Down with injuries. Ndumaya, stress reaction in his foot. Atanga, an injured knee, can't go. It's 5 for Michigan State. Clark, Forbes, Costello, Trice, and Valentine. Here is Valentine. Tough turnaround from the baseline. He forced that one. Rebound to Denzel Johnson. Clark in space. Nice lead. Denzel Johnson created off penetration by Brandon Clark.
That was nice. He finally got a shot and a finish near that basket.
Costello muscles that up. Might have been partially blocked by Cratch. And now time called, and Costello is down as his head hit the hardwood. And he is shaken up and now helped up as he's going to shake his head from side to side. Let's take a look here at Costello.
It sounded pretty bad as that head just goes back and bangs the floor. The officials catching it, smartly stopping play.
As they come out of the game, Gavin Schilling is in and Tom Izzo smiling. That's a good sign. You see the head coach smiling, and Costello, for the time being, appears to be all right. He is smirking somewhat as he will take a seat. And there is Trice on the drive, and he was fouled. A hand check.
Tom Izzo's a basketball coach with football in his veins. He's not going to bring you over there for a whole lot of sympathy, especially when you're walking under your own power. But you always have to be a little cautious, though, when a player's head comes in contact with the floor.
Steal. Here's Johnson all the way, and Denzel Johnson. Bucket, the senior from Fresno, who's named to Denzel Washington. He's got 4.
Got a pair of Denzels in this game. A pair of Clarks.
Johnson up the floor. Lead pass to Clark. Clark gets it back. He'll pop for 3. Shot has not been there tonight. Brandon Clark, and now Forbes lost it. Turnover Michigan State. That's number 7.
Here's that steal and a rare push up the floor by Santa Clara, and Johnson's able to finish it. Another basket in the paint, another layup. Layups have been very rare and hard to come by for the Broncos.
Santa Clara, Greg, not a team that's shy about launching the 3. They lost to Utah State on Wednesday, attempted 24 3-point shots, only connected on 6.
Yeah, that was a pretty tight game, though, right? 6 points or something like that?
There's Johnson burying the 3. Johnson with 5 points here in the second half. It's a 9-0 Broncos run. In that game, Santa Clara had the lead in the second half, did not score a point in the last 5 minutes and 52 seconds.
Killer on the road.
Trice with the answer.
Trice again has taken his time. He's really played a masterful game, has 5 assists, 0 turnovers. And he's been a big part of a lot of that passing and a lot of the pushing of the basketball.
9 points on 3 threes. Johnson is fouled. And the foul is on Nairn. That's his second. Tum Nairn is back in for Michigan State. Johnson's had the hot hand here in the second half. Here's Clark against Trice. Great defense. Terrific defense by Trice. He had nowhere to go. It will stay with Santa Clara.
Well, when you come in averaging 20, you automatically bring a target with you. It's right on your back. Michigan State has been prepared throughout this game for Brandon Clark, not giving him any space to maneuver.
Ridge backs it up. Against Clark. And Hubbard was out of bounds. 8th Bronco turnover. Keating will go back to his bench. And Tom Izzo looking on. 6 Final Fours, national championship in 2000. I was asking Kerry Keating after Santa Clara's shoot-around today, when you look at Tom Izzo's resume, what stands out the most? And he brought up something that I didn't think of right away. There's the alley-oop, but Schilling could not finish. He gets back out to Valentine. Trice for 3. Schilling the tap, no. Valentine inside, no, but he's fouled. Michigan State did not give up on that trip. The big boys keeping it alive, and 2 shots upcoming.
Here's that lob attempt. Now Schilling tried to really, well, actually he lost contact. He lost control of it. He was up there, but you can see he didn't have full control of it, but Michigan State followed it up several times, ending up with Valentine on the line. Now go ahead and finish that story.
That was on Clark, but what Kerry Keating was saying, you look at Tom Izzo's resume, and last year's class, that marked the first class in Izzo's reign here that did not go to a Final Four.
I know. And when they got themselves healthy last year and won the Big Ten tournament, they were a favorite of just about everybody to get to the Final Four and possibly win the thing. You know, disappointing, but how many coaches would take that? You know, in their 19th year, that would be the first class of 4-year players that did not go to a Final Four. Most coaches would take that.
And now you update it. Every class has been to at least an Elite 8.
Yeah.
That's how you update it now.
Still good, huh? Still pretty good. Tom Izzo's made Final Fours as a #1 seed, a #6 seed, and several other spots in between.
Stephen Edwards hands it off to Clark. Against Valentine off the crossover, leaves Cratch open for 3. Got his own rebound. Deflected out of bounds, and last touch by Nairn. So it'll be Santa Clara basketball when we come back. Travis Trice and the Spartans locked in on all ends here tonight. Michigan State leads big.
Jack Link's Jerky presents Hangry Moments.
What's your kitty's name?
It's a puma. Thank you. Jack Link's Jerky, the protein-packed way to feed your wild side.
If it's happening in the conference, we're talking about it on BTN Live. Go around the Big Ten for comprehensive news, notes, and discussion. Plus, you can join the conversation through social media. BTN Live, weeknights at 6 Eastern on BTN.
How'd I earn this bacon portobello melt? I got to work only 12 minutes late.
Save Dan from an embarrassing date.
It's the Wendy's Bacon Portobello Melt. Rich portobello's all melty
cheesy. Earning one super easy.
Into the clear. Gordon down the sideline. Trying to take it all the way. Cobb into the secondary. For the touchdown.
Underrated running backs in the country.
Coleman into the secondary. Turn on the Jets. And he'll take it for the touchdown. Stepping through a tackle.
Work to the outside. First down and more.
Abdullah down the sideline. Still on his feet. Through the middle. Back to 10. Into the clear. He's got a chance. Touchdown.
It's game time in the Big Ten. Defending conference champs, ready to go at it.
Michigan State starting to celebrate.
So many weapons, so dangerous.
They are a very, very hard team to beat.
It's 40 minutes of action. Every single game. One team going all out for the trophy of all trophies.
It's a fun time to be a Spartan. 15:46 to play, second half. Michigan State 47, Santa Clara 23. Back courtside in East Lansing alongside Greg Kelser. I'm Corey Provis, and tonight, Greg, Michigan State wrapping up a very brief two-game homestand before it. Grueling stretch begins. This tough November stretch continues this weekend in Orlando.
And they've done it in impressive fashion. You know, it's an opportunity to get back to what you're trying to do, who you're trying to be as a team. They're trying to be a defensive-minded team. They're trying to be a rebounding team. And they're trying to be a team that puts a lot of pressure on its opponents by racing the ball up the floor. We're seeing all of that in this game.
Out of the timeout, it'll be Santa Clara basketball. Second all-time meeting between these two teams. As I mentioned in the opening half, you have to go back to the Maui Invitational back in 1995, and Santa Clara won that game. Hubbard off the fake along two. And he battled for the rebound. Instead, it's Trice. Clark trailing. He's been solid tonight, and he was fouled. That'll be on Cratch. I believe that'll be his fourth. It will be.
Schilling is 6 feet 9 inches tall. I mean, he's a big target out there. He's athletic. He can get up and down the floor. He can get up off the ground. You know, if he can take this game and the way he played in the first half and use it as a springboard, you know, for future success, showing him what he is capable of doing, it will be a huge plus for Michigan State, especially when you get Dawson back in that lineup.
Schilling, born in Germany, raised in France, and speaks 3 languages. He misses the layup there, and he's going to be called for the foul as he reached around and got Kai Healy. That'll be his second.
That's his second.
3 team fouls now on Schilling and the Spartans. As a force and a turnover. Edwards had nowhere to go. Trice, can he respond? No, but a foul. Clark tried to get back defensively, but Trice fouled. He will shoot 2.
Here they come, as they have all night. You had better get back against Michigan State. And in order to give yourselves a chance to get back, you got to take care of the ball, and you got to take good shots. Bad shots sometimes, just like turnovers. They springboard transition. I love when teams run. You know, that's the brand of basketball that I have always enjoyed. And that's transition basketball, being in good shape and getting up and down the floor.
Trice knocks down 2. He now has 11 points, 6 assists. Greg also not a single turnover.
Had a very clean game. Very clean game. And impressive when you consider he's been the catalyst out there. He's had that ball a lot.
Play tonight, just 3 games, but his assist to turnover ratio impressive, 7-1. We've seen that play out tonight, yet not a single turnover. Clark, athletic move, but no finish. And good to see Costello back in for Michigan State. Trice. There's the first turnover, and it's knocked out of bounds, and a foul, I believe, will be called. Nope, just knocked out, no foul. Oh, nope, there will be a foul. Beyond Costello. It's his second and the fourth team foul on Michigan State.
Coach Izzo looks like he's trailing, not 26 points up.
Edwards in the corner. Brownridge back to Hubbard for three. And Valentine the rebound. There and up the floor. Trice, a deep two.
That took 3.5, maybe 4 seconds. I was watching the shot clock. The ball was leaving Trice's hands at 32. That's how quickly they get the ball up and down the floor here, folks.
Travis Trice has 13. Tom Izzo, you mentioned the intensity. The many faces of the outstanding coach. Here, number 20, in East Lansing. His Spartans up big, 51-23.
This is Phyllis. Phyllis is headed to a science conference, so she's not thinking about winter tires right now. But if she were, all she'd need to know is TireRack.com. Right now, she could receive a Bridgestone Winter Utility Kit after mail-in rebate when she buys a set of 4 qualifying Blizzak tires. For details, she'd go to TireRack.com/TV. But Phyllis isn't thinking about tires. Phyllis is thinking, well, I'm not really sure, but it's probably important. TireRack.com. Find, deliver, install.
With T-Mobile and iPhone 6, you can make Wi-Fi calls beyond the reach of cellular networks.
Hey, Brandon, what's up?
So you can talk from down here.
Smile for Grandma.
Or text pictures from up here.
Okay, there we go. Should we send a photo?
You can even make calls way over here. Talk and text with anyone, anywhere there's a Wi-Fi connection. Wi-Fi calling on iPhone 6, only from T-Mobile.
My data is mine, not mine.
Mine to share, mine to keep.
It's mine when I want it.
Mine where I want it.
And only mine. My data is mine to analyze.
Mine to put to work.
Mine to control. It's mine.
The AFS Connect Farm Management System from Case IH connects you and only you to the information you need most from your equipment from anywhere at any time. AFS Connect, only from Case IH.
Passing the pigskin in average work pants. Passing the pigskin in Duluth fire hose work pants. Duluth Trading fire hose work pants. Tougher than a Hail Mary hog. Get a pair. Only at DuluthTrading.com.
BTN basketball presented by April Air. 13:48 to play. All Spartans. Michigan State 51, Santa Clara 23.
Watch the clock, folks. 35 occurs at the rebound. One dribble and that ball is up the floor and off the hands of Trice in 3.5 seconds. That's how quickly the Spartans have been tonight in terms of transition basketball.
17 points for the Spartans. Fast break tonight. Trice so far, he will sit 13 points, 6 assists, 1 turnover a moment ago. He's hit 3 threes. Captain Trice had a career best 25 points against Navy in the opener. Brandon Clark, the senior, against Valentine, never left his feet. Shot clock is under 10, and Healy walked. Another good defensive possession for Michigan State. 10th Bronco turnover.
You know, unfortunately, the Broncos never really found a way to get or to help Brandon Clark get shots tonight. He's tried to dribble himself and create his own offense, but that's been very difficult against the taller and more physical Michigan State defenders.
Mid-range game there from Valentine. Tom Izzo spoke about that today, how that part of his game has also improved.
It needs to. I think Valentine, he needs to be for the Spartans this year. He needs to become more of a scorer. We know he can pass. He needs to get his 4 assists a game, but he also needs to score 13 to 15 points a game. That would be huge for Michigan State if he can do that.
Clark, another miss. He's now 1 from 10 from the field tonight. He's off the shot fake. Some traffic. No whistle. Got it back a second time, and then it's knocked out. It'll be Broncos basketball. Substitutions. Looks like Colby Wallenman will check back in for Michigan State. Jarvis Pugh returns for Santa Clara. And Marvin Clark Jr., the freshman from Kansas City, will some words from his head coach and then sit down. Broncos began the second half on a 9-0 run.
Michigan State working on its zone. Pretty much a man-to-man team, but from time to time we flash zone. This is a great opportunity to work on that and anything else that you want against live competition.
Foul called on Denzel Valentine, his second, fifth team foul. Trice will check back in at the next whistle. Only 4 points tonight. Can't finish. Pugh's tap. No. Costello lost it, but he was fouled. It's on Brownridge. He picks up the personal foul. Brownridge, another miss. He's now 0 for 6 from the field tonight.
We showed Costello in the open his numbers from his preceding game where he had 13 points. Not scoring it tonight, but he is rebounding the ball.
Costello 8 rebounds at 1 point. Trice the runner, no. Speaking of rebounds, another one for Costello, but he throws it away. Read by Brownridge. And there he goes in his first bucket. First field goal tonight, Jared Brownridge. A couple of free throws earlier. Now he has 4 points, but Tom Izzo will call a timeout. 11:35 to play in the second half. Denzel Valentine and Michigan State on its way to win number 3 tonight here in East Lansing.
A long weekend is just an excuse to get a long way from boring. With models up to 62 horsepower or room for 4. Go rugged, go big, go Gator. Own a special edition Midnight Black Gator. Visit your dealer today before they're all gone.
11:35 to play, second half. Michigan State 53, Santa Clara 25. Some news and notes around the Big Ten. New AP poll is out. Wisconsin ranked number 2 in the country. 4 teams in the AP top 25. And how about Illinois? Second in the nation in scoring. Rehante Rice and company. More than 100 per game.
Are they playing 48-minute games in Illinois?
2 20-minute halves.
Goodness. 103 on average.
John Gross and Illini scoring and will early this season. There's Edwards inside, the freshman from Oklahoma. He now has 4. Michigan State and Wisconsin only play one time this year. Will be in March, and that game will be played in Madison. We'll talk more about that and some other Big Ten news as we move along tonight here in East Lansing. Travis Trice has had the touch of the on the arc tonight. Michigan State 56, Broncos 27. Under 11 minutes to play here in the second half.
At Panera Bread, we're celebrating the season with our chicken tortellini Alfredo, made with 5 cheeses and topped with smoked chicken. Add a crisp classic Caesar salad for a pairing that brings comfort and joy to your dinner table. Only at Panera Bread.
Meat sticks? Yep. No. Uh-huh. Ha. Oh. Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Uh-huh. Snap into a party. Snap into a Slim Jim.
When Hollywood's premier jewelry designer, Neil Lane, creates a ring for today's biggest stars, he designs it to look fabulous from every angle. And for his collection at Kay Jewelers, he does the exact same thing. Yes. Neil Lane Bridal. Uniquely beautiful handcrafted rings at Kay, the #1 jewelry store in America.
My collection is vintage inspired with flowing lines that evoke a sense of timelessness because I want every woman to feel like a star.
Every kiss begins with Kay.
Breaking wind and average fleece. Breaking wind and Duluth Trading Shoreman's fleece. Duluth Trading Shoreman's fleece. 3 gust-busting layers. 1 beefed-up fleece. Get one. Only at DuluthTrading.com.
It's always been a part of me to fight for those who couldn't fight for themselves. Whether on my block or around the world. My name is First Lieutenant King, and I move toward the sounds of those who are in need of help.
The few, the proud, the Marines.
BTN goes where you want, when you want it. BTN to go, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Watch live hoops on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. To learn more, visit BTNToGo.com. Also available in the App Store and on Google Play. Download it right now. It's Stephen Edwards celebrating his 19th birthday today, and talked about this back in the first half. Wrapping up shoot-around today. Half-court shot. And there it is.
Money.
18-year-old.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Stephen Edwards. Freshman from Oklahoma tonight. His Broncos go down huge in the second half. 56-27 Spartans. Costello trying to establish position, but he was knocked down by Pugh, and a foul will be called on Santa Clara redshirt freshman Jarvis Pugh. That's number 3. 6th team foul. Mentioned before the last break the fact that Michigan State and Wisconsin will just play one time in the regular season, March 1st in Madison.
A lot will be riding on that game for sure. That late in the season.
Spartans will open up conference play here on December 30th against Maryland. It's Costello. He's fouled again by Pugh, and that's going to be his 4th. And that will put Michigan State in the bonus. The rest of the night, 1-1 upcoming here for Matt Costello. Costello in front of the 1-1, can't hit. And Denzel Johnson the rebound. Here's Johnson, long 2. And the tap comes down to Tum Tum Narin. How fun is that name to say? Tum Tum.
Blue Ross.
Number 5 on the floor for Michigan State. With the right hand, Costello too strong. Tapped out though to Forbes. Nice feed. Costello fouled. This will be on Evan Wardlow. The extra pass once again, Greg.
The extra pass is usually going to end up in a high percentage shot.
Take a look at the upcoming schedule, and again, some tough games upcoming for Michigan State, namely this weekend in Orlando, and there is a chance that Michigan State and Kansas would play on Sunday in the title game of the Orlando Classic. Missed free throw. 6-13.
Michigan State's got to get this free throw thing worked out, and Tom Izzo knows it. You know, you'll survive it tonight, but the schedule is about to ratchet up for you. And if you cannot go to the free throw line and hit your free throws, you will not win games against better competition.
It's 2 there, and Tom Izzo. You see it right there, kind of your point. That expression says it all.
And the other thing you got to realize in this situation, you're going to the free throw line. You're at home. You're up by a large margin. These are not pressure free throws.
That's a good point. Santa Clara turned it over. Clark was out of bounds, and that's the 11th turnover. That's a valid point. If you're missing him now, the mistakes are much higher. Conference games, tightly contested games. Perhaps we'll see one this weekend in Orlando. That's a stat that looms large. Aaron off the crossover. Trouble and has to call a timeout. Stop the clock with 9:30 to play, and Michigan State leading by 30, 57-27. Well, Friday, it's a triple header of hoops on BTN. First, the Buckeyes take on James Madison and Maryland. Host Monmouth. Cap it off at 9 Eastern, Indiana and UNC Greensboro. Coverage begins at 4 Eastern, presented by April Air. Coming up on Friday right here on BTN and BTN to go. Michigan State will say goodbye to the Breslin Center for the rest of the month. Plenty of home games upcoming here in December, but Spartans opening things up 6 of 8 on the road to begin the season. That section will be ready. Spartans come back. So Valentine back in. Valentine tonight 11 points, 10 rebounds, 5th career double-double. Shot clock is at 3. Deep 3 from Trice, and he knocks down another one.
He had one of similar length in the first half. Meeting Trice at the three-point line defensively isn't good enough because he'll launch from 4 or 5 feet behind that line with great accuracy. I really, really like Travis Trice and how he has improved himself as a player and a leader out there on the floor.
Wardlow buries the 2. Freshman from Lakeview Terrace, California, did not score in 7 minutes on Wednesday at Utah State. Trice now with 16 points on 4 threes, but the steal on the other end is Jalen Richard. His first bucket tonight, sophomore from Arizona. Valentine, patient, did not force a pass, and now here's Trice, and he was bumped. And he was bumped by Denzel Johnson. This will be a 1-and-1 upcoming.
Look at Trice with the shot clock winding down. Now the defender is at the three-point line. Problem is Trice is 3-4 feet behind it. And he shot that thing with ease. Nice to be able to have a guy when that clock is winding down, you put it in his hands, he can make something happen either for himself or a teammate. Travis Trice seems to have that ability.
Foul was on Jarvis Pugh. He is fouled out. This is a 1-and-1 now. 9 team fouls. Another miss, but Schilling runs down the rebound. Valentine touch pass, right corner 3 from Forbes. And Schilling had position inside, and he was fouled. He was battling with Nate Cratch in the low blocks. And Cratch picks up the foul. Magic looks on. His alma mater. Michigan State up huge tonight with 8:06 to play.
Irv is a big sports fan. He watches the game differently than most. And he's in the game. You know what I mean?
Schilling at the line. Now 2 the rest of the way for Michigan State. Spartans now with that first free throw from Schilling as a team, 8 of 16. Schilling makes a pair. The foul is on Cratch, by the way. He is also fouled out. So Jarvis Pugh, Nate Cratch fouled out for Santa Clara tonight. Under 8 to go. Bounce inside. Johnson shooting over Schilling and scores. Denzel Johnson's had a very productive second half tonight. 9 points game. Clark for 3. Marvin Clark Jr. his second the game.
Very nice left-handed stroke there. And Clark Jr. started the game off with a three-pointer.
Started tonight for Brandon Dawson, unable to play with the flu. That was a deep three from Clark, and Schilling the rebound nearly threw away. Tries to Forbes. He will try it. All Schilling inside. Putback is there. Schilling's had a terrific game tonight, Greg.
Yeah, he's just too big and too strong for the Broncos in this game.
12 points, 11 rebounds for Gavin Schilling.
6'9", 240. They haven't been able to keep him away from the basket. He's going wherever he wants to on the floor.
His first career double-double. Gavin Schilling making his presence felt tonight. Career best performance. Michigan State up huge.
Easy chip shot. So much for overtime. Best overtime ever.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
When Delta bath, shower, toilet, and faucet innovations make getting clean just as beautiful as getting dirty, that's Happy Mess. See what Delta can do.
It's been exciting to be at Michigan State with Big Ten titles for our basketball team, our football team. But I bet you didn't know that Michigan State is the #1 university in the country for bean breeding and genetics. People may not think that beans are important, but just ask the people of Rwanda who rely on beans for their livelihood. Rwanda consumes more beans than any other country, and we need to save them as they struggle to recover from the genocide. So we have developed new varieties that are drought and disease resistant. The bean we develop offers opportunities for them to grow more beans, produce more food for themselves, for their families, and for the marketplace. Beans are impacting the world in many ways, and it all starts here at Michigan State.
Basketball on BTN is presented by April Air. Feel good inside. And brought to you in part by State Farm. It pays to double check. Talk to your agent today. 6:51 to play. Student body, per usual, came out. And the students seeing their Spartans rolling. 67-33, under 7 to play. Gavin Schilling tonight, 6'9" sophomore. Greg, he has really stepped up on both sides of the floor.
I think he's learning something about himself tonight, and that's that, you know, if he stays out there on the floor, avoids foul trouble, and is active, he can get some things done. Look at him, a tower of power inside. Michigan State has 20 offensive rebounds. He has 7 of them.
And here is Schilling all the way. And the hammer. Right on cue. Schilling now with 14.
And another assist for Travis Trice.
And Trice is going to be called for the foul as he reached. 7 assists. There's the 7th assist. And Schilling with his 6th field goal.
You know, he kind of reminds me of a guy that played here 13, 14 years ago, about the same size as Schilling. And he went on to have a decent NBA career, rebounding the basketball, scoring in tight, and I'm talking about Jamie Fike. Reminds me a lot of Fike.
Free throw coming here for Clark. Clark makes a pair.
Full-court pressure that has been applied at times in this game by Santa Clara, but to not much effectiveness. They make Michigan State take a little time off that clock getting it up the court.
Here's a three from Clark, another one. His third three tonight.
They're out there. Target practice now pretty much for Michigan State.
And Greg, that is back-to-back 15-point games for the freshman Marvin Clark Jr. Off the shot fake, Hubbard over Valentine gets the roll.
Coach Izzo didn't like that score. He popped off that bench, get his point across. He's not coaching this game anymore, folks. He's coaching the next one or the next two. In terms of looking for a certain level of execution from his guys.
There's the lob. Trice to Valentine. Another pass and two more for Valentine. He has also had a solid game. Give him 13. Clark had it knocked away by Wetzel. So Keenan Wetzel, redshirt senior from Monroe, Michigan. Some time here late. Marvin Clark Jr. Company. So the alley-oop feed there. Greg Trice setting up Valentine.
Travis Trice has seen everything tonight. Everything that's in front of him and back of him. He's made some shovel passes to people trailing him. He may be done for the night, but if he is, he's had one terrific game tonight in a lot of different categories, especially leadership.
Aaron back in for Michigan State. As Greg mentioned, Trice is on the bench right now. Under 10 for Santa Clara. On the shot clock, Jalen Richard. Here's Brownridge, the floater. Tapped out, Clark, and Aaron wasn't ready. Instead, the rejection, another near swat. That one no falls the second try. Here's Valentine, went all the way, hit the deck hard. And he is now on his feet. He will jog down the other end. Clark bumped and fouled by Naren. His third, but Valentine joining his teammates, but he had a hard fall as he went aggressively to the basket.
Valentine that time never really got the lift on that layup attempt. Came up slow, but he stays out there. The last thing Michigan State can afford is to have any more guys go down for any reason. Missing Dawson tonight, a couple of others.
Javon Bess, he's out until mid to late December. Broken foot. Alvin Ellis is out with a right ankle injury. As we look at Gavin Schilling, the game he has had, he has worked hard, and with that said, he is tonight's recipient. Duluth trading hardest working player. First career double-double, 14 points, 11 rebounds, 1 block. Minus Dawson. We said at the outset, where would Michigan State go? And they went inside to Schilling tonight.
Well, the opportunity was there. Again, he knew he would be out there on the floor. He knew he was going to get a certain amount of numbers, so he was comfortable. Even as a guy like Dawson, there's going to be at least 10, 12 shots available, spread around. Rebounds that you got to go get. Schilling did that tonight.
Valentine the miss. Richard pops for 3. Strong and Holland in the rebound. Santa Clara now 3 of 20 from beyond the arc. Pass back out to Naren one more time. Valentine for 3. Let's hit back down to Brownridge. Three-point shooting. The Spartans now 11 of 25. At 3. Speaking of threes, there's one for Jared Brownridge, the sophomore from Aurora, Illinois. He's 9 points. Aaron will drive, draws attention. Valentine, another one, another miss. Brownridge Ridge, another three. So back-to-back trips, and Brown Ridge struggled with his shot in Santa Clara's last game. Has struggled tonight, but has been better here in the second half. But still the Spartans up big, doing that without that man right there, Brandon Dawson. Under the weather, flu-like symptoms, and unable to play tonight. Well, Wednesday night on BTN, the Buckeyes return to action when they take on Campbell. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, presented by April Air on BTN and BTN to go. Shannon Scott, 16 assists last night. Ohio State's big win. A Buckeyes single-game passing record. 16 assists in one game. Also got some love I saw on Twitter from Aaron Kraft. See why Aaron would let him know about that. Speaking of Ohio State and some recent performances, D'Angelo Russell. Fantastic young player, 32 and 9. Paris LeVert, great start. James Blackman Jr., young player for Indiana. Trent Petaway and the Cornhuskers lost at Rhode Island over the weekend. His turnovers were high in that game, but still a very dangerous player. Frank Kaminsky, preseason Big Ten Player of the Year. He and the Badgers are rolling. Decker, Nigel Hayes. Wisconsin, a couple of good wins last week over some solid teams. Boise State, Wisconsin, Green Bay, two teams that could be in the tournament. Wisconsin won East. Bryn Forbes knocks down the three. He's got 10. Edwards can't hit. On the layup. Here's Nairn, 3-on-2. Santa Clara gets back. And here's Clark, another three. Fell out, and Hubbard the rebound. Brown Ridge off the crossover. And Valentine pulls it down. 11 rebounds now for Valentine. Oh, he forced it. Tried to set up Wellman inside. It was picked off. Here's
a really nice bounce pass. He's doing a great job.
So nice win from Arizona. We know they are loaded with talent, but atop those rankings, it is Kentucky with a record 9 McDonald's All-Americans. How big is that gap between Kentucky and the rest of the country? Yeah,
right now it looks like it's Kentucky and everybody else. They have 10 NBA players on their squad. That's why they can platoon guys in. They're all pros. And as good as Arizona, Wisconsin, Gonzaga, I mean, they're going to, probably get knocked off at some point, Kentucky, but it's going to take a great effort and effort by them that's uncharacteristic of what they're showing right now.
Coach Callis, too, he's got to find minutes for all these talented players and keep everybody happy as well. We showed you Arizona beating Missouri. Up next in Maui, they're going to get the winner of K-State and Purdue. There's Coach Bruce Weber. First half, K-State up 2, Nigel Johnson. Turnover and the easy layup.
Yeah, nice press. Really forced the turnover by pressing.
Second half, K-State now with a double-digit lead. And up top, it's Marcus Foster. He had a game-high 24. Wildcats win convincingly 88-79. What about number 20, Michigan State, taking on Santa Clara? And there's the Magic Man in attendance. First half, Spartans up 4. Matt Costello, the block. Michigan State, here they come the other way. And Marvin Clark Jr. on the receiving end of the alley-oop.
Yeah, they all start with defense. Again, Michigan State is a great rebounding team. They're great defensively, and they get a lot of transition buckets out of their defense.
There's Clark Jr. again. Michigan State was up 20. And then Clark Jr. from nowhere with the block. Michigan State rolls 74-37. Let's take a look at some of the scores from elsewhere around the top 25. Louisville remains undefeated with an easy time against Savannah State. And Kansas, they were blown out against Kentucky. They rebound, or at least they have to this point at the half. They're up 51-22. Thanksgiving on Fox Sports 1 has your fill of holiday hoops with the Continental Tire Las Vegas Invitational. First, Fighting Illini take on Indiana State. Then the Baylor Bears shoot it out with Memphis for a trip to the final. It all begins Thanksgiving Day at 5 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Matt Carlino's first season with Marquette, the transfer from BYU, averaged double figures for BYU last year, and his great uncle actually played for this Marquette team under Al McGuire. About 12 minutes, 50 seconds away from tip. Meanwhile, Damon Lynn. He's had 20 points in each of his last couple of games. Can NJIT get it done? For a preview of the game, let's go to Eric Collins and Corey Williams.
Thanks a lot, guys. Another chance for a young team to grow a little bit, make an impression. We've got a very young Marquette Golden Eagle team trying to figure things out under a first-year head coach with Corey Williams. I'm Eric Collins. 3 games in the books for Steve Wojciechowski's Golden Eagles. They've won 1, they've lost a pair. What have we learned about these Golden Eagles?
Well, we've learned that they're a work in progress. A young team, new roles, new chemistry. They've got to get back to basics and establish who they are, have an identity, do some things on defense, and get that consistency they're going to need in Big East play.
Now, last year, Buzz Williams had a veteran team here in Milwaukee. This year, not so much. One of the players getting expanded playing time is Juan Anderson.
It's always good when you go from a few shots to more shots, and Juan Anderson has filled the role beautifully, stepping in, being more athletic, more aggressive. Inside, outside game, Mr. Energy, getting some buckets for them. He needs a wingman, but no question about it, he is a key player for the Golden Eagles.
And Marquette Golden Eagles trying to get some confidence back. They've got a trip tomorrow. It's going to be a Thanksgiving trip down to Orlando. They're hoping to do some good things down in Florida, but it all starts with a quality game here on a Monday night at the BMO Harris Bradley Center. All right, getting ready for NJIT and Marquette. That game's coming up next. Now let's send it back to the studio.
All right, Eric, Corey, thank you very much. We'll look forward to this second game of our doubleheader. Coach, Marquette off to a little bit of a rough start here, and they don't have a lot in terms of the height department. What do they need to do tonight against NJIT to get back on track?
Well, their guards really need to play well. Wilson, Carlino, Anderson, those 3 guys in particular have got to come out and have great games for them. They've got to do a better job defensively. Like we talked about earlier, they allowed 97 points in their last home game. That's not going to get it done. They've got to do a better job allowing only 1 shot. They've got to do a better job contesting shots. And then they've got to do a better job on the glass. They're getting outboarded in their first 3 games by almost 10 rebounds a game, so they've got to do a better job in that area.
What about the challenges for coach taking over in his first year, Steve Wojciechowski? We know the tradition. He's been part of that Duke program as a player and coach with Coach K for 20 years, and now he's taken over the reins.
Well, he's doing a great job. They already have one of the top 5 recruiting classes in the country that they've signed here in November. And those kids are all going to be outstanding players for Marquette. But this team right now, they're waiting on a young man who transfers from the University of Indiana, Fisher, who will be eligible in December. That's going to really help them with his size and his length. And they've got to do just a better job shoring up their defense. They've got to do a better job in that area. It's key.
Yeah, only 1 player to this point until they get Luke Fisher, who's 6'11", that Indiana transfer, over 6'7" on the roster. But again, as you mentioned, some help next year coming in. 2 guys in a highly ranked recruiting class that are 6'10" or taller, but they got to wait until next year to get that help.
Yeah, and Burton this year for them is a key guy for him inside. They've got to get him the ball. He's got to be able to score in there for him, get more touches. He's averaging about 8 a game right now, but he's a guy I expect to get double figures tonight for him.
Well, the first game of our Big East doubleheader was Xavier and Murray State, and the Musketeers got off to a fantastic 11-0 start, and it got even worse from there for the Racers. James Farr, no look to Matt Stainbrook.
A nice finish and great pass.
Xavier was up 22 at that point. Then J.P. McCura off the steal, and this is another talented freshman here for the Muskies. Fouled hard by Teron Gilmore. McCura was down in pain, took a really bad bounce off his lower back. Gilmore would be called for the flagrant. He'd be ejected. McCura would go to the locker room, but he would return to the bench later.
Yeah, it didn't look like it was that vicious, so I think he was off balance going up, and he hit him just right, and it's good to see the kid bounce back.
Big win for Xavier, 89-62. What about number 12, Villanova? Number 14, VCU, Jay Wright and company. Dropped 3 straight against top 25, Javon Pinkston. 13 points first half.
Really strong finish. To play through contact the way he just did is really impressive.
Second half, Darren Hilliard doing it all by himself in the foul.
And another outstanding finish, change of pace, change of direction, really nice handle.
And then Josh Hart with the steal, and he's going to find Hilliard again. Nova would lead by 3. So Villanova looking strong, and another turnover. It ends up with Hart. This was part of a 16-zip run for Villanova.
It starts with their defense, though. Their pressure. They're great defensively. They've got great guard play.
Now, 2 teams that really get after it defensively, but this was all late anyway. Villanova, Hilliard to Pinkston, the stuff, and Villanova goes on to win 75-53. We look at the best non-conference records that's entering today across the entire country. Another win for the Big East there at 30-2, a .938 winning percentage. That is tops in the entire country. And the only team in the entire conference to lose to this point is Marquette, but we'll see if they can get back on track against the Highlanders here coming up in just a little bit. But, Coach, some big players, obviously. Doug McDermott moved on to the NBA. Samaje Cristen, another guy who moved on. But how good as a conference overall do you feel the Big East
They've had great wins already. You're looking at the win over Providence over Notre Dame yesterday. You're looking at the Creighton win over Oklahoma. Now a dominant win over VCU. This bodes very well for the Big East. 31-2 now in the non-conference. That is really, really good. And it looks like they could get 5-6 teams at least in the NCAA tournament based on right now.
Let's go back to Providence for a moment. The surprise Big East tournament champs and a big night for LaDontae Henton the other day.
Boy, was he good. He was so good, finishing, shooting the three. Dunn was outstanding. And I think that Ed does a great job coaching his team. They play so hard. And that was a really good Notre Dame team they beat yesterday.
Career high, 38 in a very close game against Notre Dame. But, yeah, top to bottom to this point, really, with the exception of Marquette. We'll see if they improve under Wojo. A lot of big wins for this conference, including a Creighton team who you mentioned upset number 18 Oklahoma. They actually came from 18 down in that game to win, and they were picked to finish near the bottom of the conference.
And Oklahoma's really good now. Oklahoma's going to finish very high in their conference. They're definitely going to be an NCAA tournament team. So that's an outstanding win for Creighton. And it shows you the residual effect from last year being so good. They don't lose. They lose their best player. They lose a number of good players, but they still have that winning program, that winning feeling, and knowing how to play and style of play that's very hard to play against.
How do you make that transition as a coach? They lost 4 starters, actually, including McDermott from that team last year. But how do you move into that next phase when you know you've lost so much?
But they have a lot of kids in the program that were there, that were a part of it, that played important roles.